What's going on, guys? This is an explanation for the PAILS rails 90-90 for internal rotation. Our setup will be the same as the 90-90 for the lead leg or for external rotation. You'll have right angles everywhere from your knees, hips, and ankles. However, instead of leaning over the lead leg, we're now going to rotate over this trail leg here. The sensation that we're looking for, or the motion we're looking to create, is keeping our leg fixed into the ground. So your femur, your leg bone, is going to stay in the ground, and the inside of your foot will be on the ground. Ideally, your heel will be on the ground, and then you're trying to rotate your hips around this fixed leg. Just like our other PAILS rails, you'll be holding a passive stretch for about 1 to 2 minutes. As you go through those 1 to 2 minutes, you want to do some diaphragmatic breathing, and you want to gradually sink deeper and deeper into that stretch as your body becomes more adapted to that position. So let's say that I've held a stretch here for approximately 2 minutes. Now my tissue is adapted to this position. I'm going to start with an irradiation, creating tension through my entire body before I go into my PAILS contraction. So that my core would begin to get tight. A cue I like to use is pushing your ribs downwards, think trapping air downwards. That's going to spill through your lower body, spilling through both legs, and also into your shoulders, through your hands. So we have tension through our entire body. The PAILS contraction on the progressive side, the motion we're looking to create is if we are rotating our leg into the ground this way. So like windshield wiping down into the ground. We will start with about a 30-second contraction, starting from anywhere about a 20 to 25% tension, and then gradually building up in increments of 20-25%. However, as we go through those percentages, you want to try to hit every number between so you have complete control over that. Now, the rails contraction, imagine that you are actually trying to, while keeping your hip downwards towards the ground, rotate this leg upwards, rotating it internally more that way. If it doesn't come off the ground, if it doesn't come off the ground, that's completely fine. The intent is what matters here. So I'm going to now show you what one cycle of a PAILS and rails contraction. I'll start with a PAILS contraction, starting at about 20% tension, driving into the ground. Now I'm going to start ramping this up. I'm going to work towards, for me, I'm now about somewhere between 50 or 60% of my maximum tension. Working towards about 70 or 80%. And lastly, I've gotten to about my maximum contraction where I feel comfortable, and now I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. And immediately, because I've already ramped up, I'm now going to go to about a 10 to 15 second contraction, a rails contraction, trying to lift off the ground. All right, now that I've gone through contractions on the progressive and the regressive side, now I'm just going to go back to sinking into a passive stretch. I will hold for approximately 20 to 45 seconds or so, just allowing my body to readapt. I can either go into another PAILS rail cycle, or I can just end it there and hang out on the stretch. All right, guys, so that is the 90-90 PAILS rails for internal rotation.